Mountains are big. Mountains are tall. Mountains are strong. They don't fall. Very nice. I love how you were doing that nice and loud, Donald.
Bonjour. Buenos dias. Good morning, and welcome to Rutherford Elementary School. We are home of the Rams, where we respect all, always do our best, we make wise decisions, and we are successful. We want to take a moment and thank our special donors for providing us with the opportunity to be a part of the Compassionate School Project. One thing that we are truly proud of at Rutherford is the diversity in our building. This is truly a global learning environment. We have 545 students with 200 English as a second language learners. And we have over 20 languages spoken here at Rutherford. Today, you are in for a true treat. In fact, we will have our very own first grade students from Ms. Humphrey's classroom being taught by Ms. Avera and Mr. Lawrence today. So we want you just to sit back and relax and see it from the vision of our students. And again, we thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate you all hosting us here at Rutherford. Thank you, young ambassadors for education, for having us here today. Y'all feeling all right? Are y'all feeling all right? Boy, you really are. Okay, thumbs up. Way to go. Well, we really want to thank you guys for being here, and I believe in you guys. I want to tell you that. You guys can do anything with the right support behind you, and you're getting it here in your school, and I can see you all are ready to learn and ready to roll. So we are here today to celebrate two important milestones in the Compassionate Schools Project. The Compassionate Schools Project is a super innovative education and human capacity project that has tremendous potential here, not just for our city, but for our state, and I believe our country as well. As a matter of fact, just in the past week, the Compassionate Schools Project was featured in Time magazine as a way the country is looking to exponentially enhance our educational outcomes. And we do that through our students, and we do that through some bold new ways to open our minds and open our hearts, and that's what the Compassionate Schools Project is all about. So 2 announcements. First, we're announcing that after an initial pilot of 3 Jefferson County public schools last year, we are launching full implementation of the Compassionate Schools curriculum in 26 schools over the next few school years. And second, our friend Owsley Brown over here will announce some generous gifts that move us closer to our goal of $11 million for this project. This project is being fully funded by private philanthropy and foundations in the hope of having some breakthroughs in education that we can share with the world, and we are well on our way with that. Now, in Metro government, this program just fits with everything we're trying to do. We focus on 3 main pillars of building a stronger city, creating a city of lifelong learning, an even healthier city, and an even more compassionate community. And so to realize those goals, we've created a number of strong partnerships, and there's no partnership that's stronger than this Compassionate School Project partnership that we have. It's a partnership between JCPS, obviously, the City of Louisville, and the University of Virginia, and our many funders and supporters as well. When the University of Virginia was looking for a city to test their Compassionate School project out, they chose Louisville for 3 main reasons. 1, we're a compassionate city. 2, we embrace innovation. And 3, we had the perfect connection with Owsley Brown, who's a graduate of the University of Virginia and interested in all aspects of compassion and realizing human potential. So we put all these things together, and I would like to say we are making this happen in a big way in our city right now. Compassionate Schools Project is a controlled, long-term, far-reaching, first-of-its-kind study on how to teach a compassion-based curriculum and whether or not it does indeed improve these kids' lives. In each of these schools, we're implementing a curriculum centered on social and emotional coping skills, nutrition, wellness, and of course, mindfulness. The goal is for our young students to learn how to self-regulate both body and mind and become more effective learners at the same time. The Compassionate Schools Project also tries to help teachers because, let's face it, being a teacher can also have challenges and can be a stressful job, and mindfulness helps them better care for themselves and their students. I know the entire city of Louisville is excited about the Compassionate Schools Project. It's not unusual for me to be out on the streets and have a teacher or a parent walk up to me and share their enthusiasm for being involved with the Compassionate Schools Project and how it is changing the school environment, how it is changing their child that's involved as well. And most people have never experienced anything like this before. So to see our young students go through this transition of having what I call an open mind and an open heart for learning and for caring for each other is something that we're blessed to have in this community, and I hope we can share it with the rest of the world. We know that being a compassionate city is important to infusing these concepts of being ready to learn and being ready to care for each other as well. And if we can be in a city where people are always learning, we're healthy, and we're always helping each other, that's a good place to be. And the Compassionate Schools Project is central to that focus for the city. I'd like to recognize Dan Johnson. He's our councilman back here for this area, for Rutherford. Thank you for hosting us in your district here today. And I would like to brag on Dr. Donna Hargens. She's the superintendent of Jefferson County Public Schools, probably the toughest job in town. About 100,000 students in JCPS, 130 some languages spoken in JCPS, so it's a hard enough job to kind of run the school district day in and day out. But when we approached Donna about the Compassionate Schools Project and she heard what it was and what it could do, she just said, how can we help? This is what a great leader does. Embraces opportunities for innovation, doesn't think about, okay, it's complicated, it's something different. She just said, how will it help our kids? And the classroom is the center of the universe in Dr. Hargens' world, and we're lucky to have her here in our city. So she's going to come up and talk about the Compassionate Schools Project's connection to academic achievement. And then after that, you'll hear from Dr. Patrick Tolan, the chief investigator from the University of Virginia, and finally from Owsley Brown, who will announce our new grants. So please, let's welcome Dr. Donna Hargens.
Thank you, Mayor Fisher, and it's so exciting to be here at Rutherford with these amazing students and such a dynamic principal. So I can't think of a better place to talk about the Compassionate Schools Project. And our partners have been tremendous. So you think of Owsley Brown's vision of what this could be and Dr. Patrick Tolan operationalizing it. So this is a program that brings to our students what will help them be successful. So lots of times people say to me, talk to me about your district, and they want me to share statistics. So I could tell you that we had a nearly 10-point increase in GAP student math scores when the scores came out. Our four-year graduation rate hit the over 80% mark. We're excited about that. And 63.4% of our students are college and career ready. That's a 32% increase since 2010. So we know we're moving in the right direction, and we've made some great gains. But a district's progress, a school's progress, isn't solely about cognitive learning. Non-cognitive skills won't show up on state tests, but they're really important. That's why we're excited about the Compassionate Schools Project. It builds the capacity of our students to self-regulate, make appropriate choices, and develop more effective, empathetic, interpersonal relationships. So everybody can remember the time you experienced an act of compassion. So how do you connect that experience to the concept of helping kids develop capacities to do just that? So those were moments in our lives, and those are moments recreated here at Rutherford every day. As the leader of the 27th largest school district in the nation, I have hope that the students who enter our classrooms every day will graduate understanding their interconnectedness and respecting the uniqueness of one another, even though everyone comes from a different background. Our district is full of compassionate individuals who do this, who put their best effort forth every day. So as a district, systems are in place for the academic pathways of our students. The Compassionate Schools Project puts in a system that will help our students gain the dispositions that will make you successful. So it is a comprehensive approach that focuses on 4 key areas: wellness, health, nutrition, and social emotional learning. It is a streamlined curriculum that fosters self-regulation, resilience, and responsibility by actively engaging students in mindfulness practice. So with Compassionate Schools Project, these students in front of me are learning to approach new challenges with deliberate and mindful choices and process interactions. So in Jefferson County Public Schools, our core values guide our work. That's what's in our heart. If we believe that children learn differently, then we must expose our students to many different learning tools. So the JCPS commitment is to develop the capabilities of students to be effective citizens, Mayor, learners, workers, and leaders of Louisville. And that is what's happening with the Compassionate Schools Project. And it's my honor next, Dr. Patrick Tolan and the University of Virginia have been absolutely amazing. So Dr. Patrick Tolan.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Superintendent Hargan, and thank you, Mayor. They did a great job of explaining what the curriculum is about. So let me first tell you who I am. I have a job, it's called Principal Investigator. And I'm at the University of Virginia, where I've been there for the last 6 years, and before that I spent 25 years in Chicago, trying to understand and study and bring the best scientific methods and evidence about how children learn, how do they develop into healthy and capable adults, and to become the kind of citizens our communities need. And so when I was given an opportunity to learn about this curriculum and to think about potentially studying it, I was very struck by these are things that neuroscience research, child development research, educational research over the last 20 years have been showing make a difference not only in how children perform in academics, but how they engage in learning and how they act as members of our community. These are things we know can make a difference, and so that's why we've termed this 21st century health and well-being skills. These are the skills that we know are the future of the city and are their futures. And so how do we get this tested? And that's the second part of it, where we're not going to just say, let's do this because we all like it or we all think it's a good idea, but let's carefully test it because we want to do something, we want to make sure it really works like it looks so promising. And that's what's unique about this effort. It's the strongest science with the best forward thinking about what will make a difference for the schools and for the children. And so it's my honor to be the person who, as principal investigator, tries to get this done and helps to get this done over the next 5 years. And it's been a great partnership with many investors and funders and leadership of Mayor Fisher and Superintendent Hargan and working with Owsley Brown, and then working with the school system here. What I've been saying in the last few days in particular is both from the bottom up and the top down, JCPS is committed to children. They're making a difference. They're going to do what will make a difference. And that's making Louisville and JCPS an example for the country, because innovation and forward thinking, but it's also let's do careful evaluation. Let's really look at what's best. I was going to update you on where we were, but I think you actually got a very good update, which is that we've been working in 3 schools, Cane Run, Slaughter, and Jacob, sorry, thank you. I only have to remember 2 out of 3, in the last 2 years, and they've been very helpful. And what it means, what we've been doing there is trying to make sure this will fit the Louisville schools and the needs of Louisville and to understand it. And now we've launched the formal test of the evaluation just last month, and we're working in 26 schools this year, and we'll add another 24 next year. And over those 2 years and then the following 3 years, we'll study the impact of this on the children's behavior, on the classroom climate, how and also on achievement and other important health outcomes. And so we're very much looking forward to that. This will involve over 10,000 children receiving this, being involved in this curriculum. It's also involved bringing an additional 25 teachers to JCPS to help provide the instruction. And it's also meant that we've engaged with a number of the principals, the teachers, and the communities to really get this implemented well at their schools. And I want to mention one other person who's been just amazing. This is Suzanne Wright, who works for JCPS, and she's been critical in helping us be able to get engaged and connect and be really become a part of JCPS. So I'm just going to say this. So this is an opportunity to really show the benefits of preparing children for tomorrow's world, not for yesterday's world. These are skills that we know will make a difference, not just in how they perform in school, but again, what they'll get out of education and what they'll bring to our communities. So I'm very proud to be able to be a part of this and very thankful to be in a community that is this forward-thinking and this careful about how they think about their children. And now I'm going to turn it over to the Councilman.
I think this is a great program that's going on here, and I'm proud that Owsley Brown and the mayor and the superintendent's working on it, and as well as the gentleman just said he's running it. And I think it'll be a great program for our schools and help us get away. Compassionate City is certainly Mayor Fisher's idea, and I really think he's done a good job with it. And this is the 21st district, and I believe we'll be helped by this program in the future, and I hope it gets done, and a lot of kids love it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. It takes a team to put these kind of things together, but every team's got a leader as well. And Owsley Brown, from our very beginning when he embraced our city value of compassion, was always thinking, what can I do? What can I do to help even more? And he wanted to do something specific. And knowing that education is the pathway to opportunity, he said, let's work on schools. And as I said, his connection to UVA was invaluable, but then his tireless energy also in being our chief fundraiser for this project has been without parallel. So, Owsley, we're really proud of you here, the wonderful work that you're doing. Please welcome our champion, Owsley Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's a great pleasure to be working on this project with you all and Superintendent Hargens and all of JCPS who we feel have just embraced this idea so wholeheartedly and therefore allowed it to happen. And it is incredible, as you've already heard, what is happening. And people are paying attention from really far and wide and near. And my job as fundraiser has allowed me to speak to so many people, both here in town and also around the country about this project. And everyone just without any exception, has been incredibly interested to hear what we're doing, and some of them have stepped forward to help us on our fundraising goals. And so I'm very pleased to be able to announce to you today that we have made it beyond the halfway mark for our $11 million project, and we are very excited. We are extremely excited, and I wanted to announce first off our major grants, which very appropriately and very happily, one of the very largest and most important of which came from here in town from the James Graham Brown Foundation of $1 million. And Mason Rummel is here. Thank you, Mason. It has just been extraordinary to work with you. We are so grateful. And the list goes on. And in the next really large category, we received an enormous gift and a whole lot of interest and ongoing interest to partner with us on this project from a foundation in Boulder, Colorado called the Hamera Foundation, who've given us $900,000. We have another out-of-town champion who in so many ways as a husband and wife team, are woven just deeply into this project. And that's Sonia and Paul Tudor Jones, who, although they live in Connecticut, they have close Tennessee connections through Paul. His home state is Tennessee, and therefore a regional connection to Kentucky. And working closely with them are Chi Kim and Terry Greer, who are here today. And I'm proud to announce a $796,000 grant from Paul and Sonia. And I'm also very honored to be able to announce my family's participation directly through my mother, Christy Brown, my sister and brother-in-law, Augusta and Gil Holland, along with myself, which get us to $4.4 million in our major gifts category. But I'm happy to say there's more still there, and they would include the CENS Foundation, which has been extraordinary, my cousin Margaret Brown de Klerk, Pat and Vincenzo Gabrielli, the Geens Foundation, and most recently, very, very excitingly for us, you can imagine our pleasure in receiving a gift from the Jennifer Lawrence Foundation. And all of those gifts together get us to $6.5 million for the Compassionate Schools Project, and we feel like we're on our way to finishing this strongly. So I'll just conclude by saying that I think this city is clearly willing to embrace big ideas, ideas that are clearly at the leading edge of what our country and the world needs. And nothing could be a more important or strategic or timely investment in this world today than to invest in education and to invest in our public schools. So I encourage all of you who may see this to join us and go forward, and let's keep going with this great, great moment and great opportunity to invest in education and in our future. And with that, we now have a demonstration of what the Compassionate Schools Project really feels like through two of our teachers, Mrs. Kim Avera and Mr. Scott Lawrence, who I think are right with us somewhere, just maybe right here. And I think, are you all going to come right to the podium, maybe? Or are you going to stay right there? So if you could turn your attention just in this direction, I think we're all in for a real treat.
Very nice. Slowing your breath. Just like that. Very good. Now I'm going to ask my friend Rita if he could do the breath and lead you. Ready? Breathe in and out. Good. One more big breath again. Mr. Lawrence will lead the bell. We will now work on our focus. Remember, you will be listening for the sound of the bell to go completely away. Breathing in. If you have your thumbs up, your thumb up, and you're showing me that the sound is gone. Mountains are big. Mountains are tall. Mountains are strong. They don't fall. Very nice. I love how you were doing that nice and loud, Donald. That was great. And so now we will begin a series